Hello everybody, we're back with a brand new Lego build video, and the reason I'm near our fish tank is because we're going to be involving it by building an automatic fish feeder, so then we don't have to feed the fish all the time. And we're going to be building out some Legos and electrical parts.
So Quentin, what are some of the electrical parts we're going to use here? So you have them laid out in front of you. Tell us what that is you're holding.
This is a solenoid, and what this does, we connect it to this 12-volt adapter, and we connect the wires here. I'll demonstrate it in a little bit. And if you flick this switch,
go ahead and demonstrate that for us real quick.
Okay. All you gotta do.
And this is the 12-volt transformer we just had in, left over from some LED lights that we took off the tank. So we got zero money into that. I think the solenoid costed like $7 off of Amazon, so maybe $6.
Twist that around. And then you put in the switch.
We've got to plug it in there, right? Plug it in.
Oh, yes, sorry. Where should I? Okay, hold on. Yep.
Alright, so when you activate that,
it pushes down.
A little closer. Do it again. Alright, very good. So now the challenge is going to be converting that motion
with some Legos.
With Legos and feeding the fish. So what's that white thing you got there?
Well, this is a digital time switch.
Let's get a good look at that. So what this is a digital timer. We can have, I think, maybe up to 8 presets. We're only going to need 2 probably for a morning feeding and an evening feeding, or just one feeding. But you supply this with 12 volts. So show me those tabs there. Nope, show me the, yeah, nope, you had it. So we're going to supply that with some 12 volts from that transformer. And this has a built-in relay. You can hook it up normally open or closed, and I'll explain that a little bit later. So now the challenge is to get out the Legos and see how we can mount these pieces of hardware together and make a working fish feeder.
Hey everybody, we're back, and we made the basics of what we're going to be building in the fish tank for the feeder. And this is where the timer's going to go in, and we even have this little spot, a closer view of where we can put the wires in. And this is definitely not going to be as colorful when we make the finished product. This is just basically an idea of what we're going to be doing. And we haven't really decided what we're going to be building for the other ones. That's a little more tricky. So we'll see in a little bit.
So Quentin showed you the piece that he had built, which is our holder for the timer. We still got to figure out how we're going to connect it to the fish tank or the stand. So that'll be coming up. So what I've been doing in the meantime is I built basically the hopper for the food. So if you look in here, I have a door that closes. But the food will go in there. And as you see, it's open all the way to the bottom. It has this kind of a sled here, and there's a hole on the end. Can you see that, Quentin?
No. And you need to flip it.
Which way? See right here, this hole? So you notice this hole does not line up with the hole in here. And the reason for that is we have this piece here, which has a hole right through it. And if you see there, I have a little bit of a angled Lego piece to force the food in. And what's going to happen here is this is going to slide like a sled down here. So when it's all the way forward, see there's a stop, so the food will sit on top. And then when that plunger on that solenoid pulls it, it'll line up the hole, fill it up, then it pushes it forward, then it'll fall out the bottom. So an initial test with the solenoid that we originally purchased, which was this tiny one, didn't work so well, because this was not powerful enough to really pull that sled. Once in a while it would pull it, but most of the times it would jam. And I looked a little bit closer at the specs. This is only rated for 5 newtons. So we decided to get a stronger one, and we got this one here, which is quite a bit larger. This one I think is 42 newtons. And this one should have enough oomph to do the job. So this will fit into here, like so. Then I have this piece that goes over the top. It gets locked in with this piece of Lego so that it can't move. And the way I'm going to attach that is with just basically with a paper clip. So why don't we pause it there, Quentin, and we'll show them the next video. So let's get this connected with the paper clip here. So just nothing too complicated. There's holes on the end of that rod there. I'm just going to get that paper clipped through the rod. And then I'm just going to bend it into those little holes on that Lego piece there. And so get it to go in there. Okay.
Is it working?
Yeah, just gotta get it bent forward a little bit.
And then put it in the slots.
Let's see here. And so, go screwdriver.
Are we good now?
Alright, let's get it back in there.
I can't see. There. The audience can't see.
Let's just get this reattached. The other way around.
And testing. Wait. We have to move.
Alright, so it's in there right now. There's a spring that makes it return the original position.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's get some power to it. We can demonstrate real quick.
In the meantime, I have an idea of how we're gonna have the timer hang off the fish tank. Let me just show you real quick. Okay, buddy. So I think with this would either just hang there. We can make some lights come off the side so it can fit right in the crack and it won't just fall. Or we can hang it out there and make some hooks out of Legos. And then when we connect the wires in the back of the fish tank to the fish feeder where it drops. And that's just my idea, and we actually might do that. Okay, everybody, we are back with the fish feeder testing. Are you ready?
First, we're going to pour some food down into our hopper. And this is just some beef heart. And so, when this is hooked up to the switch, or to the timer is what will control this to open and close. But for now, I'm just going to do it with this switch. So here we go. So here's opens, closes. And we got a decent amount of food coming out of there. Let you get a view through the top so you can see. Let's get a view from the side there.
Good tests. Now, we gotta figure out how it's gonna go on the fish tank. Okay, so we're making a little modifications to our box for the timer because we need to make sure the cords fit and it stays in on the fish tank. So this is what we're doing.
Let's explain how we're going to wire our timer switch. So if we look on the back of the timer switch, we see this on the right, pins 3 and 4 is our DC voltage coming into the unit. And then on the left, we have our relay, which is normally open. What that means is just like a light switch. When it's open, power comes in one side, but cannot complete the circuit and come out the other side. So when the timer goes off, it's going to close that for 1 minute, and then it's going to release it, or it can hold it up to as long as you want. But the minimum on this timer is a minute. So we also have a little schematic here that shows our timer and those 4 pins and how we want to wire it with our power and with our device. So this is showing a 12-volt battery, which is not what we're going to use. We're going to use a 12-volt adapter. And then our device is going to be our solenoid. So the way this is going to work is we have pins 4 and 2 are going to the positive side of our power source. Let's do that first. So this is 4 and 2. And then the positive side of our power source, you may not be able to see that, is the side with the dots on it, basically. That's our positive side. So So these three wires are going to get joined together. And I'm just going to use these little crimp connectors here. And I'm going to crimp it with these. Alright, so we got a good connection there. We don't have any exposed copper. And then what we're going to do is, instead of hooking this directly to our solenoid, which is going to be too far away, we're going to use this thermostat wire to do that. And I'm using red and white for positive and negative. So we need to attach the negatives here, which is going to be 3, which is there. It's going to be negative on our battery or on our power source. And then we're going to connect that to the white, which is also going to be negative, and then to the negative side of our power source. So those two get joined together. And then we're going to use the white for our, not negative, for the positive, or yeah, for the negative side. And we'll crimp that together. And then the positive side is going to be hooked to the other side of the relay, which is pin number 1. These crimpers are not very good. This is my old set. Alright, so they're all on there well. And this guy is going to go into our holder. Made out of Lego. And this is going to go on the side of the fish tank. And then all we have to do is we plug in our power source. Sorry. And then the other side of this wire is going to go to our solenoid at the hopper to control it. And I've gone through and I've set this to come on at 7 in the morning, and then it goes off at 7:01, and it comes on at 6 at night and goes off at 6:01. Unfortunately, I couldn't have this less than a minute, so I was going to have to put large food pellets in there so that a ton of them go through. Okay. Here we go. We're putting this on the side of the tank. You can see I have the timer encased in our Lego box. My wires are made up. They're coming out of this little hole in the side. I've got this cleat, which basically goes into my stand, which I'm going to explain some of this layers. This is actually a drain built into the stand. So we got our power supply here, which is going to plug into my power strip, which is on my stand. And so that's going to go right here onto my power strip. Just have an on-off switch. And then I'm using these sticky back anchors and wire ties to tie the wire to the back of the tank. So basically these are kind of cool. You just peel the back off. I can get the back to come off. I've had these for a while. Some of these might be dried. Let me grab another one. Let's try this one. So I'm just going to stick it on the back of the tank. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Yeah, I can see it.
And I'm going to use some wire ties, zip ties you might call them. And I'm going to just kind of zip the wires here to the back of the tank, just neaten it up.
I was just checking out what you're doing.
Alright, so we are installed and wired. So there again is our timer switch. There's our 12 volt power source coming into it. And then, it might be hard to see, but my wires are connected to the back of the tank with some stick-on anchors and zip ties, or wire ties. Those wires make their way up to the solenoid, which is on the hopper, which will sit on the back of the tank. And doesn't look too bad. It's open right now. Let's close it. And I think I like this a little better than some that I've seen online. I've seen other Lego builds that use the Mindstrom, which are cool, but their stuff a lot of times is quite large and looks clunky, whereas this is a little bigger than I hoped it would be, but it's not terrible. I think it's actually usable, other than just a cool thing to build. I'm going to try it out for a couple days and see how it does. And we'll update you on how it works. Okay, any second now, this is going to kick in for the first time. This is our first time having it feed the tank. It's almost 6 o'clock.
What does it say?
There it goes. It just activated. Now it's going to sit there for a minute. Then after the minute expires, it will kick forward and feed our hungry fish, including Mr. Oscar here, who can sense that something is about to happen. That's Titan. This is his buddy, the green terror. They're both pigs, waiting to be fed. Alright guys, you have to look in the back of the tank because the food is coming out near the back, not near the front.
Hopefully they can hear it so they actually know it's back there.
What's the time say, Quentin? Is it about ready to click over?
It says it's 18.
How many seconds?
40, no, 50.
Alright, in 10 seconds it's going to dump the food in the tank. Let's
10
see.
seconds? No, where does it say the seconds?
There it is. Food. It
It
didn't kick out
worked.
as much as I thought it was going to. Anyways, it's a success. It worked.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching our video, and leave a like if you liked it, and please subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to press that notification bell so you never miss a video. And do it for Rosie. She really wants you to do it. Come on, don't be shy. Anyway, thanks for watching so much guys, and see you next video.